Think I can teach you something that you'll remember and actually care about in under 3 minutes? Let's find out. I'm Evan Flay, and this is Flay P History. Imagine that you've just docked in ancient Alexandria. You step off your ship and climb the stone stairs from the harbor. When you turn and look back toward the water, not far behind you, set directly along the shoreline, you see the palace complex of Cleopatra. White stone walls, colonnades, and terraces catch the late afternoon sun, glowing against the bay like a jewel. Then you shift your gaze farther out, off toward the north-northwest, beyond the city itself. Rising from the island of Pharos stands the lighthouse of Alexandria, distant but colossal. It doesn't loom directly over the docks, but it dominates the horizon. Turning inland, you step onto Sima Road, one of Alexandria's great ceremonial avenues. Wide, straight, and deliberate, it pulls you away from the harbor and into the planned heart of the city. As you follow Sima Road deeper inland, the city begins to open up around you. There's courtyards and shrines and administrative buildings, signs that you're entering not just a city, but a capital. And soon, you arrive at what may be the most famous intersection in all of the ancient world. Sima Road crosses Canopic Way, an avenue so wide that ancient sources describe it as being roughly 100 feet across, broad enough for processions, carts, crowds, and ceremonial traffic to move simultaneously beneath long rows of columns. On one corner of this intersection stands the Library of Alexandria, connected to the Museon. Together, these institutions formed what was effectively the world's first university. Here you would find things like state-sponsored research and salaried scholars and educators, residential quarters for academics and students, and a collection of hundreds of thousands of scrolls. Visitors arriving in Alexandria were instructed to surrender their books to the library so they could be copied. And according to later tradition, the copies were returned while the originals were quietly kept. Directly across from the library stood the mausoleum of Alexander the Great, often referred to as the Sima. Although the structure itself has been lost, we know it remained a place of reverence for centuries. The Roman Emperor Hadrian, who deeply admired Alexander, visited the tomb repeatedly, and when he later commissioned his own mausoleum, Hadrian ordered it built in Alexander's likeness, giving us at least a partial architectural echo of what once stood there. All of this, the library, the Museon, Alexander's tomb, the grand avenues, they all sat within the Bruchion. These were Alexandria's royal quarters. Here lived the Ptolemaic royal family, high-ranking officials and aristocrats, scholars, diplomats, and administrators. But it wasn't just residential. The Bruchion also contained temples dedicated to Greek and Egyptian gods, civic buildings and gardens and shrines, colonnaded courtyards, and ceremonial spaces. So within just a short walk from the harbor, you've now passed royal palaces, the greatest lighthouse ever built, the world's largest repository of knowledge, the tomb of history's most famous conqueror, and a planned urban grid unlike anything before it. Alexandria wasn't just a city. It was a machine for power, knowledge, and legacy. See you next time.